So I'd like to welcome you to this afternoon's session. So I'm going to introduce a little bit about how it came about, and then I'll introduce Curtis. But when we started to put together ideas for this conference, we realised we had a bit of an opportunity really to kind of go deeper and create more of a structure and a space to have deeper dialogue, more of like a sharing of ideas, and we decided to do that around food. So the title of our session today is Eaters Unite, Food as a System, Connector, Healer and Pathway to Our Better Future. So I want to explain to you a bit about why explore food system transformation. So there's lots of reasons, and here are just a few of them really that I've pulled out today. So our relationship with food, it goes way beyond sort of dietary need. It extends to cultural identities, so it's deeply social, deeply personal, and something that we're all connected to. It's produced with nature, and it connects us to the environment in a very special way because it's a life-sustaining way, and we want to have those conditions for that connection to be really, truly positive. But, as probably we all know in this room, often the way we produce food across the world is it's harming the environment and it's harming our health. This is a big challenge. But also food systems are laden with injustices. Not everybody has the same access to nutritious food. Different foods are available to different people. And that's something that lots of people across the world are starting to tackle and challenge today. So in recognition of these injustices and the damage that we're doing to the planet through our food systems, there's actually lots and lots happening in the food space at the moment, and food system transformations are starting to happen across the world. And this is a good opportunity here for us to kind of convene around that issue. So, not all of us here in the room are food experts and have food as our key topic, but we think that food system transformation can tell us a lot about organising for change. And it kind of aligns a lot actually with what I was presenting on this morning, which is food system transformations, they positively link people and environments in regenerative ways, so we can start to see tangible patterns of regeneration, and that could be really useful. There are many examples which have a focus on sort of enhancing the agency of people affected by dysfunctional food systems, so we can explore issues around social justice and equity. And there are networks and partnerships that are creating spaces to share insights and create solutions to complex challenges. So we've put this exploration together today, which can allow us to go deeper into this topic of how people have gone to organise for change to tackle environmental issues and social issues as well. So we've got 5 inspirational food system change case studies that we want to explore. And really what we want to open up is to learn from you when you hear these stories, what resonates with you when you hear these stories. And throughout the process that we've put together and the discussions that open up, we want to hear sort of your reflections about things that you hear from the story and things you hear from each other that you think that you could take forwards and perhaps apply to your own practice going forwards. So we didn't want this to stop after today and after this conference. We want this to be something that we can collate and share with you and beyond the people at this conference. So there's a couple of points within the sessions where we can ask information from you. And we're going to use that to develop a publication, a report and an academic publication. But we see this as a really truly collaborative process. It's a co-production of knowledge of the people here at this conference and across these breakout rooms today. So what we'll be doing is we'll be opening it out as a fully co-authored publication, and it's something that's been done before within Fix Our Food that Yoa, my line manager, has organised. So he'll be steering me through that process, and I'll talk to you a bit later today about how that will work. And because we want to publicise, make a publication out of this, we've gone through the ethics process as a due process. So there's 2 points basically within the sessions where you'll be asked to write a reflection on a postcard, and your reflection on that postcard, if you share it with us, That's your show of consent that you're happy for us to use that in the development of that publication. But obviously, if you don't want to share that, that's completely fine. You can write your reflection and keep it to yourself and take it away with you. And we'll hold on to those raw bits of information for the next 6 months. So that's kind of the housekeeping background things. And I'm going to open up to Curtis now. So Curtis and I have been collaborating on this, the development of this session for several months. Curtis has come over from the US. He works at the Social Change Institute, and he's got experience of working with lots of different food system transformation projects. So he's going to open up for the session, Why Food and What We're Doing, okay? Thank you.
So I'm going to invite you all to think that for the next few hours we're going to have a group meal together. And that what we just had for lunch we might call the amuse-bouche. We just had a little taste. I'm working with a number of indigenous groups in the US, and a common refrain amongst them is, enough talk, let's do. We know enough, let's practice. So we will talk about food, certainly, but with a taste of food still in our mouths, I wanted to invite us to do a practice. So we always like to say this is an invitation, not an expectation. And if you'd like to go on this very brief journey, I'm going to invite you to just get comfortable in your chair and to feel your feet firmly on the ground. You might feel your feet like pancake batter spreading out, holding you up. And feel your seat on the seat, holding you up, supporting you. And feel your back against the back, holding you up. And if it feels comfortable, if you'd like to, close your eyes or soften your gaze. I invite you just to breathe. Slow down. Consider maybe breathing into your belly, lower belly, not up high in your chest, but in your lower belly. You might feel your body getting a little heavier, sinking into the chair. Just remember you're supported. And keep breathing. And as you continue to breathe, I'm going to invite you to think about this word food, nourriture, comida, cibo, essen. What comes to mind, to heart, to body when you consider food? A memory, a story, a feeling, a sensation, and just savor that for 30 seconds. Breathing, remembering, I invite you to take another deep breath in, into your belly, let that out. I'm going to ask you to find somebody near you, and just for 2 minutes, share what came up. 1 minute each. What came up as you considered food? And welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. So just take a few seconds to notice how you feel having shared that story with somebody else, or that memory, or that sensation. So food is profoundly personal, and food is profoundly interpersonal. It holds a lot of power. We don't expect that everyone necessarily had positive associations with food. My family supports a Ugandan orphanage that's in development in a part of Uganda that's just ravaged by poverty. And just this morning I got up with this desperate email. They've run out of food. I get these messages once a month. So food is very complex. As we've done this work around food systems, and I'm now referencing my colleagues here from the States, Nessa and Noel, and thinking about how we must do better when it comes to food. We know that there are many who've carried this torch before us. So just putting up a few of the words of some of my own personal heroes. Winona LaDuke, who's Ojibwa and Jewish and does amazing work in the state of Minnesota around food systems, reminds us that food comes from our relatives, whether they have wings or fins or roots. That is how we consider food. Food has culture, it has history, it has story, it has relationships. And the poet, essayist, activist Maya Angelou reminds us that eating is so intimate. When you invite someone to sit at your table and you want to cook for them, you're inviting someone into your life. Cesar Chavez, who's done so much to uplift farm workers, laborers in our food system, reminds us that the fight is never about grapes and lettuce, it's about people, fundamentally, at the end of the day. And President Kennedy once said, food is strength, food is peace, and food is freedom. There's a lot packed into our daily nourishment. Just a couple of months ago, Noel and I had the opportunity to be a part of a group that went to a conference, a national conference in the US that's hosted by something called the Privilege Institute. And so they talk a lot about privilege and power as it relates to systems of all kinds. And this was the first time we were able to do a deep dive into food. In 26 years, we hosted a track, kind of similar to what we're doing here, deep dive into food. And these were some of the things that just naturally emerged in terms of our offerings, to give you a sense of the conversation amongst those focused on food through a justice lens in the US. Agroecology and food sovereignty, the national right to food movement, which is not just in the US, it's a growing international phenomenon. The love ethic and work for food justice. Right relationship comes up in many different ways and across many different lines of difference, ethnicity, race, gender, class, age, and solidarity we're hearing much more as a concept. Beyond the headlines that you may be reading about the US, I assure you, underneath the surface, there's a lot of organizing going on. So just giving you a little bit of taste of what we're thinking about, talking about, in addition to what you just talked about, we're going to invite you into an exploration of what is profoundly personal but also political when it comes to food. So we're going to invite you to continue this meal through a case study, and then after that, an opportunity to share across case studies and to come back here for dessert. And Rebecca's going to say a little bit more about that logistically, just to remind you. So over to you.
Yeah. Okay, so you might have noticed on your lanyards, so we're in the green section now on your schedule, and we have our case study explorations here, and then the sharing, cross-pollination of ideas, the second group. And you've all been assigned to a case study, and then you've all been assigned to a second group. And the reason we've allocated you in these ways is so that when we get to the second session, we get to hear from all of the different case studies, and we've got the cross-section of everyone's experience. So we've got a couple of minutes to just find our rooms, where you're going, settle into your rooms, and then we'll begin the process for the afternoon. So I'd like to welcome you to head on out to your breakout room. Any questions, then just pop to me at the front, and then we'll get started. Thank you.
And so just a reminder that the two sessions this afternoon go together. There's a deep dive in a case study and an opportunity to hear from others who went to other case studies. So we hope you'll go for both servings.